Did you know that by 2030, women will hold nearly 67% of the nation's wealth? Now, with over a third of the country's financial assets currently under their control, women must strategically plan now in order to ensure a healthy financial future for themselves and their loved ones. And so in this video, I'm going to go over with you the key estate planning documents that every woman entrepreneur needs in order to ensure a smooth transition of your assets for when you are no longer here. And then I'm going to break them down so that you have a good understanding of what each document is used for. Okay. And so, real quick, if you are new to me or to the channel, my name is Katrice, and I am a licensed insurance broker. I'm also the practical insurance agent. And on this channel, I teach entrepreneurial women how to use insurance to increase their wealth, financial literacy, retirement, and estate planning. And you'll also get some mindset and financial astrology content sprinkled in. So if that is your vibe, welcome to the tribe. And as you are watching the video, if you are being enriched by my content, then please do give it a thumbs up, all right? All right, so with that being said, let's jump into it. All right, so estate planning is something that is considered for a task for the wealthy or for those nearing retirement, okay? However, it is a vital process for all adults, and in some instances, even more critical for us women. Okay, and so as women, we often face unique challenges when it comes and considerations when it comes to estate planning. And so it's essential to understand the importance of creating a plan tailored to your specific needs and circumstances. Okay. Now, many women, myself included, are the primary caregivers of children, of our elderly family members, or our mentally challenged family members. And so, as a result, it is crucial to designate a guardian and create contingency plans for our loved ones in in the care of our, when we're creating our estate plans. Okay. And so that is why these documents are so crucial. Okay. Now, the first document I want to go over is a will. Okay. And so a will is a legal document that spells out exactly how you want your assets distributed after you pass away. And it also allows you to name guardians for your minor children. Okay. Now, why is this important? Okay. Now, without a will, the state decides how your um, assets are distributed based on the local intestacy laws. Okay. And so if they say if you die intestate, that means you died without a will. Okay. And so now at that point, the state of wherever you live can come in and they are going to be making the decision. Okay. Because you did not do that beforehand. Okay. And so it's very important that you have this document, okay? Now, some key things you want to consider is you want to ensure that the will is signed and witnessed according to state laws. You also want to update it after major life changes, okay? So such as marriage, getting divorced, having children. Um, if when you do it when your children are when they are like little, and you have like a guardian in there for them. Once they reach 18, then you want to always go back in there and take that out, because they're no longer, there's no need for that to be there anymore because they're 18, they're of the majority. So they don't need a guardian anymore. Okay. Um, you also want to include clear instructions for digital assets such as your social media accounts and online descriptions. This is important in this day and age that we're in because I have seen people like fighting over people's social media accounts because, they wanted to have control of the account and the person that they was with didn't have, was like, no, I'm not gonna give you the password. It's just a mess. So you have to take even your social media, you have to take that into account. Okay. If you have pets, you also want to make sure that you have a caretaker listed for your pets. Um, and it'd be sad, but like a lot of older people, when they die, their families will just give the animal away. Like they don't try to keep the animal or, help, the transition. They may not be an animal lover like the deceased was. And so, it sucks for the animal because not only did they lose their person, but they, now they got to just go be thrown in a shelter somewhere, like and they're confused. So, you want to put in, you want to make sure you put in some type of designation for your pet, right? Some instruction for your pet. If you can't tell, I am a big animal lover. I love animals, and so to me, I just think that you need to be responsible. Like an animal to me is like a child because they're depending on you to take care of them. And so you have to be responsible. Like it's not a cute toy that you just play with and "Oh, I don't want to play with you no more." That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. So you have to take care, make provisions for the animal, If you choose to get it, you got to take care of it, right? And then in the will, you also want to have an executor. Which is the person who will be carrying out the terms of the will. Okay. All right. And so the next one that is key is a living trust, a revocable living trust. Okay. And so a living trust is a legal arrangement where you transfer ownership of your assets into the trust while still maintaining control over them during your lifetime. Now, a revocable trust manages and distributes the assets after you are no longer here. However, it is a legal entity and a will is not. Okay, so that right there, that is really, really key. So a will kind of just tells people what to do with your stuff. Okay. However, a will can be contested. Okay. And this is where you see people they get these long drawn out probate cases with the assets, and it's depleting the asset because all the money is going towards legal fees, right? And so while yes, you do want to have a will because like I said, you want to die for things like your children and your fur babies and stuff like that. Like you want to have specific directions, which to me is what a will is. It's directions. Okay. This is what I want to happen, and I'm gonna need y'all to make sure this happens, right? But the trust is an actual legal entity. Okay. And so this means that the trust can own property, it can own assets, it once you create a revocable living trust and transfer the assets, the trust becomes the owner of the assets, okay, which can significantly reduce your estate taxes, okay. Um, like it's and I'm gonna do a video. I will be doing a video on how to use trust um, for how to use trust for estate planning, and I will go over that in a future video. But yes, you want to have a trust, okay? Especially if you know what I'm saying, like for us entrepreneurs, we're entrepreneurs, right? And so you're as an entrepreneur, you are able to really build wealth. Okay. There is no limit to how much wealth you can build, right? And so if you are really wanting to leave like money, legacy money for your children and grandchildren and things of that nature, then you definitely want to have a trust. Okay. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I saying it's so important, that you want to have a trust? Well, one, it avoids probate. That right there is because I've been through probate, and it ain't nice. I ain't like it. So, because my parents they didn't have a will, they didn't have a trust, they didn't have any of this. Okay. And so I am seeing firsthand how not having these documents, I got to see it firsthand, how not having these documents, affected their children and what their children had to go through, right? And so you want to not do that to your children, okay, or to your family members, right? So it avoids probate, which saves time and money for the heirs, okay? It offers more privacy since it doesn't become a public record like a will. That's another key. Keep stuff, don't everybody don't need to know what you got going on. Everybody don't need to know what you got going on, right? Like, if you got money. Yeah, it's nice to have a will, but let that will just be, use that will for your directions. This is what y'all want you to do with such and such and such and such. But where the money resides needs to be in a trust. Okay. And it also provides continuity of asset management if you become incapacitated. Okay. And so now to set up a trust, you would need to work with a estate planning professional or an attorney to draft up the trust and to ensure that your assets are properly transferred into it. Okay. All right. And if you are liking this content, then please go ahead and consider giving it a subscribe. Okay. I post content like this all the time. And so if this is your vibe, subscribe. Okay. All right. So the next one is a durable power of attorney. Okay. So a durable power of attorney is a document that allows you to appoint someone to manage your financial affairs if you are unable to do so. Okay. And so a financial power of attorney makes important financial decisions on behalf of someone who can no longer do so. And the person appointed as power of attorney is known as the agent. Okay. And in that role, they have specific duties that they must carry out by law. Okay. And so, in a durable power of attorney, the agent can continue making decisions on behalf of someone, even if they become incapacitated. Okay. All right. So, now why is this important? This ensures that your bills, your taxes, and other financial obligations are handled if you can no longer do this yourself, do those things yourself. Okay. And it prevents the need for a court-appointed guardian or conservator. And we have all seen how having a conservator with Britney Spears and now Wendy Williams having a guardian, we can all see how those are not the best situations for those women. Okay. Britney's gotten out of hers, which is a good thing. But the toll that it takes on you and to have somebody else to make financial decisions for you and they're not in your best interest. So this is why it's important that you have this document. You make sure you fill out this document so that you can choose who you want to do this for you. Okay. Um, Now, you want to choose somebody that you trust. Okay, you must trust them. Such as if you trust your spouse, okay, a close relative, or a longtime friend. Okay, um, if you like, in my case, I have two older kids. Okay, and so mine is my oldest daughter. Okay, my oldest daughter is my Well, I haven't had it done yet, but she will be. I'm getting it done. Okay. But I'm getting it done this month. Or is it this month? Yeah, this month. I'm getting it done because I will have her as my power of attorney should something happen to me. Um, and so this is a document I'm getting done. So I'm not preaching at you, okay? Just so you know, I am, as I'm telling you, that these are things that you need to get. And so even if you're like, I can't get all of those right now, it's not about getting them all at once, okay? It's about becoming aware of what you need in order for you to leave the legacy that you want to leave. Okay. And so that's what this video is about. So um if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a will, I don't have this, I ain't got nothing to put in the trust, I ain't got my assets up enough to where I want to get a trust, da da da. It's not about that. It's not about trying to have it all now. It's about becoming aware of it. Because I was on a training back in November with some wonderful entrepreneurial ladies, and we were talking about content, and I told them, I'm an agent or whatever, and I was doing estate planning. A lot of them didn't even know what estate planning was. They didn't know what estate planning was. And one lady, she was like, well, I just found out about estate planning because I was helping my mom. My mom was getting things in order. And then I learned about estate planning, but I really don't know a whole lot. Just I know what happened with my mom. And so, you know, it's not about it's about becoming aware. I found that a lot of women are just not aware of what estate planning is and why it is crucial that we do estate planning. Okay, because another and I ain't gonna keep y'all, but this one here, Tracy Braxton. That is the best example of why you need to have your estate in order. That is the absolute best example of why you need to have your estate in order. Because that man was mad because she made sure she took care of her baby. She made sure that she took care of her baby before she left this earth. And you have got to do that right there is the best example, okay, of why we've got to get these documents in order. So, you know, we're gonna take this information and you might can't you some of the things you might not be able to get right now, and that's okay. But now that you have the awareness of it, as you make your moves, then you'll be like, okay, now I got this. Okay, I need to get this. And I need to, now I can set up my trust. Now let me go ahead and get my will out the way, and all these things. And then, you just get it. But by the time you die, by the time you say bye bye, Earth, I'm out of here, all of these documents need to be in your possession. Okay. All right, I know that was kind of a soapbox, but okay, moving right along. Okay, the next one that you need is the living will or the advanced healthcare directives. Okay, it's one and the same. Okay, this document outlines your preferences for medical care if you cannot communicate and allows you to designate a healthcare proxy to make decisions on your behalf. Okay. And now, when a living will is paired with a financial power of attorney, it is often called a healthcare directive. And having these two documents in place is a powerful way for people to gain peace of mind for themselves and their loved ones. Now, this one is so super important. because it prevents confusion or disagreements amongst family members about your care. And it ensures that your medical preferences, such as life support or donation, are respected. The best case of this, somebody not having this, is the Terry Schiavo case. Okay. That happened here in Florida, and she was in a vegetative state for 15 years. And her husband and her parents were fighting over the right for her to live or die. And because she did not have a advanced healthcare directive or a living will, both sides were just speculating because no one knew for sure what she wanted. Okay. And so that right there, that is that has always stuck in my mind. Like I remember when that case was at like the height of, and it was going, and it was so sad. Like I always used to be like, dang, that's so sad for that lady that like it's like she just tug of war. You know what I'm saying? And so this right here, you can do, you can write out your living will. Like a lot of the hospitals have the living will. Well, I think they still do. I think they still do. Like, um, yeah, I think they do. I'm not for sure, but like normally, like I remember, like the last time I'm trying to think, because I was in the hospital back in May of last year, and I'm trying to think, did they say something to me about? I think they said something about living will or making a living will. Um, and I thought I had one, but maybe I didn't. But anyway, I'm getting all these documents, together, right? I'm getting all these documents together, and so, but like this one here, I definitely am because, like I don't want my kids fighting over, or my kids versus, other family members. Like I don't want them fighting over me. I know I had one, but I don't know what happened to it, so I'm just gonna do it again. But you know, um. When you get divorced, you move, but you get things, some things get lost. It is because it's just such a big transition. But this is the reason why when you have to make sure that you have these things, okay? You have to make sure that you have these documents in place because if not, you're gonna cause your family so much grief, okay? Now, you want to be specific about your wishes to avoid ambiguity on your healthcare directives. Okay. You want to make sure that you are very specific as to what you want. Okay. Don't leave nothing to chance. Okay. And then you want to discuss your decisions with your family and your healthcare proxy to ensure they understand and are comfortable with carrying them out. Okay. Because if they're not comfortable, you don't want to try to force somebody to do something that they're not comfortable with. So you want to let them know what you want done and for them to make sure that they're very comfortable with doing that because those are your last wishes. That is what you want done. Okay. All right, and so the very last one, okay? The very last one is the beneficiary designations, okay? And so beneficiary designations, um, a will, what they are is these are designations on accounts like life insurance policies, retirement accounts, and bank accounts that specify who will receive the funds directly upon your death. Okay. Now, a will or a revocable um, living trust does not cover all assets that you may have, like 401ks, pensions, and life insurance policies. Now you can make the have life insurance policies, the trust as the beneficiary of the life insurance policy, okay? And that just depends on how you have your plan, your estate plan set up, okay? But you want to, with life insurance, you can designate your child outright, okay? So if you have three children and you say you got three policies and you want to give it that way, then you just put each child's name on the policy, and so they will get the money directly sent to them. Now, with children, you want to be careful. If your children are 18 or over, then of course you put your children as the beneficiary because they are of legal age of majority, okay? Of yeah, okay. Now, if they're under 18, okay, I don't tell people what to do. I suggest that you don't put your child who's under 18 on the as the beneficiary because if you die before that child turns 18, then they're going to have to get a court appointed guardian. Okay. Unless you have a will that specifies otherwise, then they're going to have to get a court appointed guardian. Okay. To manage the funds until they get 18. This is just some random. Okay. So make sure if you're going to do it that way, if it's, then you need to do it to where it goes into the trust, and then there's a trustee, and that is the safer way to do it, versus just putting the child's name on there because they're not going to get the money. Okay. Not outright unless they're 18 or older. Okay. Um, Now, this is important because when you put the beneficiary's name directly there, it bypasses the will and the probate process, providing quicker access to the funds for your beneficiaries. Okay. And then this here, you can allow you, this will also allow you to control the distribution of the assets, even if you don't have a will or a trust. Okay. And so you want to regularly review and update the beneficiaries, especially after major life events, and be specific about your designations to avoid disputes. So don't put my children, okay? Don't put my children, okay? Because then you got any and everybody to come out of the woodwork talking about they're your kids, right? So you want to list their names individually, okay? Now, one thing about estate planning is that this isn't a one and done process, okay? You don't just set it up and then say, "Oh, I'm done." All of these documents that's in your estate plan, they all need to be periodically updated, okay? These are living documents, okay? Meaning that as long as you are alive and things are happening, you have to go in and you have to update them to make sure they are as accurate as possible, okay? They are as up to date as possible, okay? So you want to review your documents every few years or after major life changes like marriage, divorce, childbirth, or significant financial change. Okay. Now laws do change too, and so so staying updated ensures that your documents, your plan remains effective and compliant. Okay. And so, by taking the time to understand and implement these essential documents, you empower yourself to protect your loved ones and to create a secure future. Okay. All right. So, now the easiest one of these to take care of are the beneficiary designations. through which you get through purchasing life insurance, okay? Because the payout is distributed by the insurance company, you are the controller of the asset, okay? And so if you don't have any life insurance or you just want to make sure that you are properly insured, then you can schedule a consultation with me at the link in the description of this video, okay? All right, so to wrap up this video, in this video, I discussed the 5 estate planning documents that every woman should have. And I also discussed why not having one of them could be detrimental to carrying out your health-related wishes. And I shared a story that reflects just that, okay? All right, so like I said earlier, this is not a video, this is just a video bringing awareness to you so that you know that these are 5 documents that every woman could potentially need, okay? Just depending upon her situation. And so you want to have that awareness so that, you know, if something happens, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I know I need to go get this, and you will know that you have taken care of what you need to take care of to release that burden off of your family, okay? All right. And so if you have made it this far, thank you for watching. And I hope that this video was useful, helpful, or insightful. And if you found value in this, please do give it a thumbs up. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment below. And if there is another topic that you would like me to cover, also leave that in the comments of the video. Okay. And so until next time, remember, no one is coming to save you. And so you have to make sure that you save yourself. All right. Have a good one.